It is not up to 1 year into this administration of Bola Tinubu, but there is a new image that Tinubu has before the international community, before the whole people that are interested in Nigeria from across the world. This is a new image about Nigeria. But what kind of image are we talking about? What could that be?
Our next story is from Nigeria. Last week, we told you about a kidnapping. Almost 300 students were taken from their school during morning assembly. This was last Thursday. The children still haven't been found, and no group has taken responsibility yet. But the kidnappers are expected to demand a large ransom for their release. Now, if this was happening on your watch, what would you do? Send out the army? Go meet the families of the victims? Set up base in the affected town until the children are found? All good options. But Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has different ideas. He did fly out yesterday, but he landed about 150 kilometers south of the affected village. He went to a different state. Why? To inaugurate an airport that has been renamed after him. So amid a spree of kidnappings, Nigeria's president chooses to inaugurate the Bola Tinubu airport. A crisis is unfolding under his nose, but Tinubu is busy cutting ribbons, which begs the question, how tone-deaf can you be? How can you ignore the plight of your citizens? These are some families from Kuriga, the village where the children were kidnapped.
We plead with the government to help us. We don't have any security in this community, no police outpost, no military presence, and no local vigilante. We are responsible for our own security, so anytime they want, they will invade the community and do whatever they feel like doing.
We don't know what to do, but we believe in God. We don't have security, no soldiers, no police to protect the school.
This problem we are facing, we are crying, looking for help from the government and God. But it is the gunmen that will decide to bring the children back.
They say they haven't received any help from the government. They're at the mercy of the bandits, and they're anxiously waiting to get their children back. In this situation, inaugurating an airport seems absurd. Now, the Nigerian government will say that they are on top of things. They have reportedly deployed the army. They're apparently working with the Air Force and local vigilante groups as well. But so far, there have been no updates on the whereabouts of the children. Meanwhile, there have been more kidnappings. On Saturday, 15 more school children were taken, this time in the country's far north. In another case, kidnappers have come out with their ransom demand. This is for 16 people who were kidnapped on the 28th of February. The kidnappers allegedly want 14 trillion naira. That's about 25 billion US dollars. Of course, that's a ridiculous amount, but it shows the impunity of the kidnappers. They've been getting bolder over the last few months. Since Tinubu came to power last May, an estimated 4,500 people have been kidnapped across the country. This is according to a consultancy based in Lagos in southern Nigeria. 4,500 kidnappings in the last 9 months on Tinubu's watch. It adds to his growing list of scandals. He's appointed his son-in-law to a high government post. His economic policies have caused the naira to crash. The people have been suffering with rising inflation, and now kidnappings are rampant again. Amid all this chaos, Tinubu chooses to put his name on an airport. It shows his misplaced priorities and utter lack of tact.
I know a lot of people, and also the All Progressive Congress, will think that, oh, all these people are being paid to tarnish the image of Tinubu. Let us leave sentiment, let us leave nepotism alone. Let us face the fact. Do you know that every day in Nigeria that less than 500 people are being kidnapped? I mean, every day. But while we concentrate on what is going on between Israel and Palestine and Gaza, people are talking about what is going on between the Russia and the Ukraine. Nigerians are just practically decreasing every day. Either you are waiting to be killed, you are waiting to be kidnapped. Nigeria is no longer safe. Is that the only problem? No. What we are talking about in this video is that why all these things are going on, Tinubu traveled from Abuja, not going to console with the family of the kidnapped victims, but he traveled across Kaduna, going to a place that they rename an airport after him. Who does these things? If someone who is serious, I think the first thing Tinubu is supposed to do is to deploy, the security agencies. Apart from deploying them, if you are the army chief, You should be living in Kaduna, or should be living in Sokoto, where there are insecurity challenges. If you are the Naval Chief of Staff, or you are, what is it called, Air Force Marshal, I don't know the name they used to call them, these people should relocate to where we have all this insecurity. Because these people can't live there. How do you expect ordinary civilian to live there? You heard from that man. No, nothing like police posts, nothing like military checking point in these areas. But where we don't have insecurity, you will see 100 police posts collecting, extorting money from people. This is not fair. Now, we will be looking at it as an ordinary thing because it is used to us. Our political class, they don't even talk about it in the Senate floor every day, as if it is an issue that is not bothering us. And what we are seeing now is a damaging image before the world, before the international community. It is a damaging image because no one will close his eyes, open his eyes, and come to Nigeria to invest. Even though the person is deaf, the person will not come to Nigeria to invest. How can you invest in a country where the government, they are not conscious of the insecurity challenges? They don't care about anything going on in the country. If you are in the position to invest, would you invest? Absolutely no. So this is the new image Tinubu have now before the international community. This is the new image of Tinubu before the world. People see Tinubu as someone who is an accomplice to insecurity challenges. People see Tinubu as someone that has this, that exhibit nepotism of appointing only people from his side. But I'm not surprised because this is the same thing that Buhari did. And Tinubu said he is going to follow everything that Buhari did. So sometimes if I even see people who are saying that Tinubu is not a good president, Tinubu did not try, and Buhari is worse than Tinubu, I say, come on, how would you say Buhari is worse than Tinubu? Because Buhari stayed for 8 years. If Tinubu happened to Nigeria for 4 years, then you people will understand what we are saying all this while. Tell me what is working. Everybody has even forgotten the Naira exchange rate. Everybody has forgotten that Naira is now above 1,007 something. Nobody talks about it. We have closed that chapter. Everything has skyrocketed. Everything remains the same. Where are we going from here?
Many of us from the north are famed for cattle keeping. And when you are driving the cattle through different grazing grounds, the cattle believe that you love them so much because you protect them from the elements, because you protect them from other wild animals. But if the cattle were to know that you are the one who would end up eating them, they would treat you very differently. Invariably, they do not know. And therefore, you will continue controlling them the way you do, and you will continue eating them the way you do. But it's a totally different case when you are leading human beings. They are not like cattle. You may lead them in a particular direction. You may think that you have lulled them into a false sense of security. You may think that you have deadened their minds, but always remember that one day, if you don't do that which is good and right for your fellow men, there is a day of reckoning. There is a day of reckoning, and history has demonstrated that it can come in the twinkling of an eye. History has demonstrated that kings have been toppled. History has demonstrated that presidents have been removed. History has demonstrated that great men have been cut down. History has demonstrated that men can rise when they are misled. History has demonstrated that men are indeed capable of rising up. You know, I always read these words of the American Declaration of Independence because I love them. They apply to humanity. Before America became what it is, they had enlightened men. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are born equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable right, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it is for this reason that governments are instituted amongst men, and that when those governments fail to perform, it is the duty of those people to rise up and to remove such government.